get the pedal assembly powder coated. What we're going to be using tonight is the Eastwood dual voltage gun with the Eastwood hot coat gold metallic. So this is going to be real nice and shiny. So we're going to go ahead and pull it out of the oven here real quick. We have them preheated up. They've already been wiped down. We do these one by one. Alright, there we go for our first coat. Just get it back in the oven real quick. And on to the next one. Alright guys, so we got the last piece real quick. This is the actual pedal face. I'm probably going to emphasize and just put a little heavier coat on, just because I know it'll be a little more wear. So there we go. We'll get this guy back in the oven right now. For these, it should be probably about 15, maybe 20 minutes. We'll check it with the infrared heat gun, and then we'll see you here in a minute. Here we go. So we got our infrared tip gun. We're going to give this a check. They are right at 400 degrees, so we are going to go ahead and get these pulled and hung, let them cool. And then we'll get back and show you guys the finished product and the reassembly.
Alright, so we're going to do a little voiceover here while Casey is putting this pedal assembly together. Our first step was to clean and prep the material. It did come new, so there wasn't that much prep that needed to be done, like sandblast or anything like that. So we just wiped down, torched it to get any fuzzies off from the rag that we use, and then we just put it in the oven set to about 400, and that lets any impurities in the metal off gas, like oils from your fingers if you didn't use gloves, manufacturing process, things like that. The next step was, after it was outgassed, we pulled it out, and we didn't let it cool all the way or cool at all. And what that's called is hot blocking. So that's just makes it a little easier to do thicker parts when you're using guns that are designed to do really, really thick parts, like the Eastwood dual voltage gun. Works good, takes a little getting used to, but other than that, you could do a lot of stuff like valve covers. We do that way if we use that gun instead of our bigger gun. This smaller gun is just a lot easier to use, especially when you're switching colors. We use our big gun when we do a lot of flat black, because that's mainly what we do. But like the single one-off colors, we'll just use the dual voltage gun from Eastwood. After we coated the pieces the first time, we put them in the oven, let them cure about 50 to 75% of the recommended cure time from the manufacturer of the powder. In this case, it was Eastwood, because it was the Eastwood hot coat gold Halycon metallic. And then we pulled those pieces out and we applied the clear coat to that. The same thing, this was an Eastwood hot coat high gloss clear. Spray that on. It's going to be hot flocked again because the part is still warm, so it makes it a little hard to see, because as soon as the powder hits it, the powder goes on white. Clears go on white, or at least most clears goes on white. It will turn clear right away, so it's takes a little getting used to for that, but you got to be careful that you don't put too much powder on, because you could cause runs. So that's a little difficult if you're not used to it, since you can't see it if you're hot flocking. Once the second coat was done of the clear, or first coat of the clear, second coat total, put it back in the oven for the recommended cure time for the clear. In this case, the Eastwood clear is a little lower temperature at 375, but a little longer temperature or a little longer time at approximately 15-20 minutes. So what we did is lowered it down to 375 prior, um, threw the parts back in there with the clear on there, and then let those cure for the full time of about 15 to 20 minutes, I think, and then waited for those to come out. And then once they came out, we let them cool and started the assembly process as we could see here. And he'll just be finishing this up momentarily, but as you can see, we did the base plate in black and the pedal assembly in that gold metallic. I think it looks pretty good. Thanks.